Cambridge, Boston's neighbor across the river, home of Harvard and MIT. At the edge of the MIT campus sat a large, empty parcel of land, a developer's dream, except, as you can guess, it was home to a brownfield.
The project was conversion of a very industrialized site of an industry that had essentially gone away, and by being able to be innovative with the approach, working with the DEP, we were able to maximize land value, and in doing so, we've been able to go back and create 1.3 million square feet of new property, which is also part of the emerging growth industry in Cambridge, which is life science.
The Kendall Square redevelopment project is a great example of brownfields redevelopment in this state because it had a very complicated, technically speaking, challenges associated with it. It was a former manufactured gas plant site. It is located in a very prominent location in Kendall Square near transit, the subway and businesses and residences. So it was an important site. My department came in and worked with the developer Lime Properties to help them essentially through the complex technical issues related to this site. So we went above and beyond our normal role in the privatized cleanup program, as we do in many cases with brownfield sites, to help them through the process. I believe there were multiple release tracking numbers that had to be coordinated and many technical issues that required some MassDEP guidance.
When Genzyme, for instance, went in to build their headquarters, the site that they wanted to use was contaminated with a number of different kinds of contaminants. There were different levels of cleanup that were going to be required. We essentially allowed for 6 different cleanup regimes, and which broke the site out into different phases, essentially, of Genzyme's needs as they went on site and did the cleanup.
When the program came before us, or the project came before us, it made sense that we should be utilizing sites in an urban environment and in a contaminated site, which has been remediated so that we can use the site. It makes good use of the resources that are here in the infrastructure.
The land was valuable in 2 levels. One was to be able to get the permits in place, because Cambridge is well known to be actually very difficult to permit, especially permitting something where in excess of 1.3 million square feet of property is actually above grade, and then the parking for more than 2,000 spaces below. So that in itself was a challenge. So that added value, but the original estimates on the cleanup ranged from mid-20s to as high as, if we had to dig everything out like we did for the garage, it could have been in excess of $60 million. So we ended up doing the whole remediation in infrastructure work for somewhere in the $25 million range. The brownfield is a real estate deal, so the economics have to work. They're challenging, but I think you need to keep the community, especially on the very difficult sites, the community and the protection agencies, the DEPs and the EPAs involved. And I think, though, the thing that Lime did right on this one early on is we spent our money and our time and our resources up front to fully understand it. I mean, we didn't go in trying to put just a Band-Aid on things. I mean, we really spent a fair amount of money to try and understand the site, so we could understand where we wanted to put the development.
It's a tremendous redevelopment project. It just won the EPA Region 1 Phoenix Award, and it really integrates a lot of the incentives that are available at the state level together, including the insurance program. The BRAC insurance program was used for a component of the project. Green building, LEED certified building, Genzyme, etc.
It's a building that was built for people. Imagine we should be outside, so imagine making a building that seems like you're outside even though you're inside, bringing the perimeter of the building to the perimeter of the site, and bringing nature inside, connecting it to the outside with views and with natural light, so it gives you the sense that you're not really inside a building. Lessons learned: there are techniques available to take contaminated sites in cities like Boston and Cambridge and make them useful property. I think the decision on bringing it to a standard for its purpose makes an awful lot of sense. It doesn't have to be completely clean, but clean enough that people can use it for particular purposes. It makes the use of the land much better, especially in a city where you have all of that infrastructure of sewer and water and electricity and public transportation. It's a good use of the space instead of impacting the environment in say, a green space.